How are you, everybody? I know it's been quite a while. Have not uploaded any videos. Just kind of been sitting back and taking everything in since the whole COVID thing started, and I've been dealing with that. And then you had the George Floyd fiasco and the Black Lives Matter and Antifa and all the staged propaganda. Then, of course, the election, or should I say selection. The elitists put who they wanted into office, whether you believe that or not. If you think your vote is actually counting, I don't know what to tell you. Someone said to me a while ago, if voting was legal, it would be outlawed. And I'd have to believe that. Keeping this screen black, there was some photos I wanted to put up, but for some reason they're just not uploading. Imagine that. Thanks to YouTube and all the censorship that's been going out along social media. I don't mean to make this a political rant or a current events rant, but I guess you kind of have to because of the climate that we're living in now. The pandemic, whether you think it's legitimate or not, I deal with the pandemic every day. I, for one, would say this is definitely a staged event also and was preconceived. The only advice I can give to people who are not involved in healthcare is do not look at the mainstream media. Stop looking at the numbers. The people that are in the hospitals are not as sick as you think they are. Definitely not as sick as when this all started back in March and April, when the lockdowns and the pandemic really hit. It's a much different situation. The whole wearing mask things and social distancing and the drama about the vaccines, you know,
You're welcome.
I don't understand. Yeah, see, Siri's even agreeing with me. The vaccines, I can't understand them. You have a vaccine that is out there that was pushed out in under a year. It doesn't guarantee you're not going to get COVID or a bad flu. Doesn't guarantee that you're not going to spread COVID or a bad flu. You don't know what the long-term effects are at all. You still have to mask and social distance. And it's not even a approved drug at this point, an approved vaccine. A vaccine is a drug, so I'm not wrong in saying that. And yet people are running out to get it and scrambling to get it because, of course, there's no demand. There's a demand because there's a limited quantity of vaccines and they're having trouble shipping it and all this other stuff. It's the Tickle Me Elmo effect. If any of you remember that, around Christmas time, Tickle Me Elmo a couple of years ago, maybe a decade ago or two, Tickle Me Elmo came out and it was the toy everybody had to have, but of course there was none to be found anywhere. So once in a while a store would put 3 or 4 on their shelves and everybody would run and scramble like crazy to go pick up a Tickle Me Elmo. Or if you're even older, Cabbage Patch Kids, same thing, right? Everybody wants a Cabbage Patch Kid, but there's none to be found, so stores put 10 out at a time, and everybody runs like a bunch of lunatics to the store to pick up a Cabbage Patch Kid because you won't find them anywhere. And they're doing the same thing. They're creating that with the vaccine. I don't know what to tell you. A lot of people I know are getting it, and their reasons are to protect themselves and their families and their friends, and I just said it doesn't guarantee you to spread it, and it doesn't guarantee you from not getting it. I personally know about 4 people that have gotten it and a week later have tested positive for COVID. 2 of them were doctors and were so bad they actually had to go into the hospital to be admitted because they were feeling that crappy. So let's just leave that at that. And the other reason a lot of people say is, oh, well, I want to travel. And the traveling thing is you can travel now and go places now without a vaccine. Why do you need the vaccine to get it? And plus, it's a vaccine that is an mRNA vaccine. It is a live vaccine. It's something that's never been given on a mass scale to human population. This is the first time. And if you ask me, it's just a lot of questions around this, and not too many answers. And again, it's something that you can't really talk about because people don't want to hear it. They think they're doing a great deed for humanity, believing the science, listening to Mr. Fauci and Mr. Bill Gates, who are bought and sold out. And, don't get mad at Fauci and don't get mad at Gates. They're just the poster boys for the people that are really pulling the strings. Be mad at the ones that are telling them and dictating to them what to do. Those are the ones you need to be mad at. Fauci and Gates, they're just doing what they're told. They're puppets like everyone else, in control at the moment. But listen, let me know what you think about all this. Let me know what you think about this election. To the people, the Q people, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. I've had a lot of people that I'm in contact with that are Q supporters and Trump supporters. I personally have no political affiliation to anyone. I do not vote. You know what my stance is. As I said before, an election is not an election, it's a selection for what the elites want in office at that time just to fill their agenda, as we're seeing right now with Sleepy Joe in office. I personally don't think he's in office. I think he's a cover. I think he's wearing an earpiece all the time. And Mr. Obama is the one that is really pulling the strings on that one. Watch out for Obama. He's constantly in the news every day. If you don't believe me, do a Google news search on him and Obama will come up every day with a news story. Whether it's something that he's doing politically or it's a list of his favorite books from the last year, whatever it is, Obama is always in the news. He and his wife, Michelle, have individual books out. You can go to your bookstore and pick it up, or check it out on Amazon or Barnes & Nobles if you're so inclined to read his propaganda on the New World Order and how the New World Order will be ushered in, as we're seeing presently. If you don't believe that, then I don't know what to tell you also. To the Q people, as I was saying before I got off track, forgive me because I do wander from time to time. There's a lot of stuff in my head I like to get out. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. You were all played. You were all part of the biggest psyop ever in history. Personally, a little part of me was hoping you guys might be right, and this country might have been liberated to some point, and we might have seen some type of coup or overthrow of these elitists. It would have been beautiful to see and very satisfying to see some of these evil people in power get what they deserve, but we're dealing with a beast system, and the beast is showing its fangs and its teeth right now, and it's not slowing down. If you don't believe that, if you're not on board with that, again, I don't know what to tell you. Just keep walking your own path. I'll keep walking mine. An opinion is an opinion. But as I've said, I've been on this stuff for a very long time and researching it, and it's finally starting to come out in the open. I mean, it's just so blatantly obvious. Come on. As far as the election and Trump, I don't know. How do you guys feel who are Trump supporters and were hoping for some kind of radical change and have votes vetoed and pushed back and actually see Trump take over the office again? And of course it didn't happen. Instead, we got this staged riot and protest at the Capitol, which was an absolute circus and an absolute show and an absolute joke. And now look at where it's led to us, leading to censorship and almost like a communist socialist emergence in America now, all of a sudden, thanks to Mr. Trump and his Q supporters leading the way for us, blindly leading the way. And I'm not bashing the Q supporters or Trump supporters at all. I know a lot of people that supported Trump and this whole Q operation that they thought was legitimate. And they were good people, smart people, good-hearted people. And you got played. And, we've all gotten played at some point where we were believing something, and then all of a sudden it just turned out to be nothing. Um, as I said from the very beginning, if Q was real and he was this high level military intelligence access to information that only a certain amount of people have, and he was leaking it onto the internet, if that was true, that would have been shut down immediately. Just from leaking the information on the internet. I mean, come on. You can't even post a Twitter rant now without getting shut down. Why do you think this high level information will be allowed to get out? Nothing is happens by chance. Nothing happens by circumstance. Everything is pre-planned. Everything is orchestrated. Uh, as Shakespeare said, and it holds true to this day, all the world's a stage. And it just continues. Where they're going to go, who knows? You know, every day this COVID pandemic gets to be more and more of a show and a circus. People just playing along with it. It just amazes me and baffles me that people really think we're living in a worldwide deadly pandemic. I always said I'm not buying into the pandemic until every emergency room is filled with a patient on a ventilator that is dying. The emergency room is packed, waiting for people to come into the emergency room. There's a line as long as the line waiting to get into Walmart is waiting to get into the emergency room or get into hospitals or clinics. And people are dropping dead in the street, and bodies are piling up in the street. And none of that has happened, and none of that is happening. So I'm still not wrong. I'm still right in my assumption that this is all a staged event and is just leading to the New World Order and a lockdown and just ushering in their plans for what they want, which is depopulation, which is total and complete control over everyone and everything. 2021 is going to be a year. It could be a good year. I mean, I don't know. Not so much a good year, but they could maybe let off the gas a little bit. I don't know which direction they're going with all this. We might see this Clinton-esque era where it's mellow and everyone's just kind of going along and doing their own thing as they continue to build their plans behind the scenes for their next moves. Or it could be taken into a totally different direction where they're really just polishing the hammer and ready to, knock it down into the nails that we are. It's their move. It's always their move. They're always in control. Until people realize that I am not your enemy, you are not my enemy, but we are fighting the same enemy. Until people realize that, nothing will ever change. They'll never be changed because people are always going to be left and right, white and black, right and wrong. It's just never going to change. And people just keep going along with the propaganda and the hijinks. The circus continues to roll into town and it's just not stopping. There's never not enough abundance of clowns and actors and showmen and showwomen to keep this show going. Do yourselves a favor, shut off the mainstream media, do some research on your own while you can, and the research is still available and information is out there because the information is disappearing quickly. And it'll come to a point where the only information we're going to have is the continued misinformation that we're getting from the mainstream and from whatever the elitists desire for us. That's it for now. I just wanted to put a quick video out. I know it's been a very long time. I'm hoping to keep some more coming out. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this little bit of a rant while I get some things off my mind and out to you guys. Let me know what you think, if you agree or disagree. There is no disparity here. All opinions are welcome, of course. And I pray you're all well. I pray your families are well. Stay safe in this environment. Who knows what they're going to throw at us next. Keep your head on a swivel. Keep looking around, be safe, be sound, and most of all, be alert. And please continue to think for yourselves. And I'll talk to you guys next time.